Why were rugby players paid secretly before 1995 professionalism? Imagine a sport where players are supposed to play for the love of the game, yet behind the scenes, they're secretly getting paid. That's exactly what happened in rugby union before 1995. For over a century, rugby union was officially an amateur sport. The rules strictly said players couldn't accept money for playing. The governing body, known as the International Rugby Football Board, wanted to keep the sport pure and focused on tradition. But reality was quite different. Many top players were secretly paid to stay loyal to their clubs or to representing their countries. These payments weren't openly discussed because they went against the rules. People called this practice Shamateurism. Clubs and sponsors knew that paying players would attract bigger crowds and generate more money. So they found ways to pay players secretly, often calling it expenses, appearance fees, or just off-the-books payments. These payments were usually small but enough to motivate players to stay committed. The players still had regular jobs, and rugby was seen as a hobby or a pastime. But behind the scenes, star players received extra cash for their skills. This created a split in the sport's image. On paper, rugby was all about amateur spirit and playing for pride. But in reality, money was changing hands quietly. Over time, as rugby grew more popular and media coverage increased, the gap between the rules and reality widened. Other sports like rugby league openly paid their players, which made rugby union look outdated. The pressure to change grew stronger. Finally, in 1995, the International Rugby Football Board decided to allow professionalism. They recognized that players were already being paid, and it was better to make it official. This shift meant players could now sign contracts, earn salaries, and play rugby full-time. It also helped the sport grow globally, attract better athletes, and create organized leagues. The move to professionalism ended the era of secret payments and brought transparency. It was a big step that helped rugby union evolve into the modern sport we see today. So, the secret payments were a way for players and clubs to keep up with the sport's rising popularity, even though it went against the official rules. Once professionalism was allowed, rugby could grow without hiding the truth.